What's up guys, and welcome back to another video from me. And I will warn you straight away before you go any further, there is a good chance there will be a lot of swearing in this video, and there will be a lot of me getting quite irate. I am going to express quite a few opinions on Project Cars. I don't know if they will match yours, but this is from my experience, and I'm going to be quite frank with this game. I did a review when it first came back, and I actually feel quite disappointed in myself that I gave that review, such a good review, because now the honeymoon period is well and truly over. This game came out, I first played it, it was very good. I enjoyed it quite a lot, but then slowly, as I played a little bit more, more bugs come into the game. More bugs that quite frankly should not be in the game. They should have been picked up in development and testing, but weren't. They make a huge difference to the game. They take away a lot of the enjoyment from the game. They're bugs that you guys know about, they're bugs that I know about, and I have frankly, after tonight's session on Project Cars, which was practice session for a upcoming series race, has pretty much come to the conclusion that this game is, for want of a better word, dog shit. It's not totally dog shit, it has the potential to be a great racing game. It's nowhere near it at the moment. And I remember when this game got initially delayed for the last time before it was released, the guys at Slightly Mad Studios said the game is 99.9% complete, and we want to make sure that it's 100% when it comes to you. To be fair, the game is nowhere near being 99.9% complete now. I'm just going to load a replay up so you guys can watch that as we go around. That's if the replay actually plays all the way through. Very often it just crashes halfway through and puts me back to the Xbox homepage. So that'll probably happen during this. Fingers crossed, you never know, it might prove me wrong, but I doubt it very much. So yeah, a lot of the bugs during this game are absolutely just soul destroying, and makes me question the testers for the Xbox One version of this game, how they did not pick any of this up, whether it be Microsoft or Slightly Mad Studios. How can you be this stupid that you do not see any of these issues that go on, and the bugs that are created by it? They're not all hard coded in the game, they're not all, you have to look so in depth to be able to see it. They are ridiculously obvious bugs. One bug, for instance, that we'll also go over is if you in an open wheel car or any car and you lose a wheel, you have an accident, you back to pits, they put a new wheel on, but it doesn't show the new wheel. There is no wheel visible on your car. It's there physics wise because you can still drive normally, but there is no wheel there. I've actually tested it and drove a Formula Golf car, I think it was. I intentionally ripped all the wheels off, made it back to the pits, got it all fixed, went out, set a blister in that time with no wheels visible on the car. How do you not even see that during testing? How do you not realise, how do you drive round and not realise that you haven't got four wheels in your car? How does that even work? How much of an idiot do you have to be to not be able to see that? God knows how that got through. Whoever was responsible for that part of testing, you, my friend, are an idiot. You are the biggest of all the idiots. You're a king of the idiots. There is no other bigger idiot in the world than you. You are incompetent, and you should be fired and never work in any gaming environment ever again. You are totally incapable of doing your job right. I think that pretty much covers it all. That's pretty much everything I want to say about that. But there's a host of other bugs that are in this game as well, and they are ridiculously as simple as that to spot, but haven't been spotted. As well as all the controller issues and the wheel issues. My wheel consistently loses force feedback, the weak force feedback that it is. Again, the force feedback to the Xbox One version, which is about, is nowhere near as good as the PC version. That's a minor bug. Yeah, it might not have been picked up. I can kind of give them using that, but it just loses. There we go. That's that replay crashed. That's what I'm talking about. That's what happens for 99.9% of the replays that I watch. But force feedback for the wheel, I don't know how it wasn't picked up. It just keeps. The only thing I can do is disconnect my wheel and reconnect it, and then have to go through the whole rigmarole of setting it back up, which is fine when I'm sat in the pits, but when I'm actually out on track racing and I have to do that, it becomes very much a pain in the arse. So I'm driving around with no control of the car, trying to get my fucking wheel to work, which in the real world equivalent would be the steering wheel coming off in the driver's hand, him having to root around in the glove box to find a new one, to put it back on, bolt it all on, and then carry on. It's dog shit, absolutely dog shit. I will attempt to load another replay up for you so you can watch. I can't guarantee it'll work. You usually get about 2 minutes of it if you're lucky. And before we do that, another thing I want to go on to is how they didn't pick this up. I don't know. Controller options. So controls, and we shall edit our configuration, edit our assignments. So one of the selling points, you can assign any button you want to anything to do with the car. So you can look right, look left, move your seat forward and back. You can start your engine, turn your ignition on. Right, that would be fucking awesome if it was PC. Right, this is not PC, this is Xbox. I'm guessing the PlayStation guys are exactly the same as well. We've got all these options where we can assign stuff, yet we have about 12 buttons on either the wheel or the controller to do it. On my wheel there are many buttons that are duplicated, so for instance I've got the A button, and I also have another black button which is just above the engine start button. There's also the A button. How? Why give us all these options when we haven't got the ability to do it? You've kind of just gone, well, what we'll do is we'll just move that across from the PC, port that straight into the Xbox, and then we'll turn it around and we'll sell it as, yeah, look at all these great options you got, when you can't actually use half of them. And you're very limited to what you can actually change, because a lot of these buttons are required and mandatory to have assigned. For instance, the handbrake button, you can't unassign that. That's obligatory. Whatever car you drive, you have to use the handbrake button and have that assigned, because we all know in real life racing the handbrake is something that is always used by all drivers as they're racing around the track. Right, that's me being ironic. Right, I know they don't do it. So why you have to have buttons assigned that you'll never can use? I've never used the handbrake button at all, ever in any serious racing game. iRacing, Forza when I've been racing competitively, this, Stock Car Extreme, R Factor, all of them, you never use the handbrake during a race scenario. Oh, now I'm getting wound up, my blood pressure is rising, I'm getting fucking annoyed, because it's little things like that that they don't fucking fix straight away that piss people off. Simple things that should be picked up straight away. Another thing, well, we'd actually save straight away. Usually when you back out of that, it takes about 2 or 3 minutes to actually rotate through, and you sit here just watching the save icon when you usually haven't changed any options. That's another thing that annoys the hell out of me. We will try and get another replay up if now they've all magically disappeared. Eventually, hopefully they'll come back at some stage and I'll load it up. But on the Project Cars forum there are a hell of a lot of bugs that have been noted and people have gone through, such as penalties after a pit stop. So you pit, he comes out and says you cut the track, you have a 800 second slow penalty. How does that work? Again, how is that not picked up? Did they never pit during testing? Did they even not bother testing any of that out? It's again, the replays aren't there, no photos, nothing. It's all gone, it's all disappeared, magically disappeared. It'll come back at some stage in the future. And then you've got different options like the drive option locked in multiplayer. So in the sessions that we run, we have practice sessions where people can just jump in and out and race as they wish. People jump in, they can't even race on track because they haven't got the option to drive. It's greyed out, they can't press it. They have to keep leaving, joining, leaving, joining, leaving, joining, leaving, joining, which I'm guessing is the reason why people didn't buy this game. They didn't buy the game to keep jumping in and out of lobbies. They played it to jump into a lobby and actually drive a fucking car, as opposed to leave, join, leave, join, leave, join, leave, join. More or less like a fucking lottery to see if you can actually play the game that you've paid your hard money for. Again, how that wasn't picked up, maybe they never did multiplayer testing, maybe they had one official tester, this monkey sitting in a dark room somewhere with no power to actually communicate with anybody in the real world, and just using hand signals to try and get their opinion across, which was then interpreted by other idiots within the organisation. Hey, and the replays are back, so we'll try this one again. We might get 30 seconds of it, we might get 8 minutes, who knows, it's a lucky dip like most things are in this game. We've got stuff like the frame rate drops. Yes, we've all experienced that. Game freezes for a split second. That usually happens when people join in multiplayer. It's pretty standard across the board, so I'm not going to be too harsh with them on that one. My best known issue that's been logged on the Project Cars forum is the marbles that are on the side of the track as you drive around, those little bits of rubber, they appear too shiny. yeah, that's absolutely demolishing my involvement in this game. Is that the marbles are too shiny? Fuck the marbles. I'm just happy they're actually there. Who cares if they're in shiny, dull, matte, really pearlescent or whatever? They're there. Who cares what they look like? Then it comes on to something that is quite game breaking, what I consider. That is tyre wear. Now, I tested, along with 8 other people, Formula Golfs at Zolder. We did 30 laps at time 7 tyre wear. Right. During that, I would have expected the tyres to wear to a point where my times would have degraded and slowed, and it would have been noticeable in the corners. Not once during that 30 lap race did I even notice any tyre wear was even existent. Neither did anybody else in the lobby. We did 30 laps at time 7. If we hadn't had that time 7 on, we could have the equivalent would have been 210 laps in a Formula Golf at Zolder, flat out, without getting any tyre air in the world. I don't work for Pirelli, I don't work for any tyre company, but I'm pretty sure that is the world's longest lasting race tyre. How that wasn't picked up during testing is just beyond amazement for me. It's the same with GT3 cars, it's the same with every car that I've tested, it's the same with every car that everybody else I know has tested, and a race with on a regular basis, they all have the same thing. Makes no difference for me. In the Formula Golf at Zolder, I actually set my fastest lap on the last lap, which would say that my tyres were perfectly fine, and I had no issues at all. How that wasn't picked up is just beyond me. Again, that monkey must not have bothered testing the tyre wear and going, yeah, there's tyres on the car, they turn, yeah, that's good for me, we'll tick that box, we'll sign that off, that's good to go. Nobody will complain about that. We've also got stuff like engine blowing too quickly, but that might be down to the tuning options, the vast tuning options that are in there, so potentially that's okay as well. Again, with tyre wear, it's been noted that there's not enough tyre wear compared to the AI, which is understandable. So how that works for the AI and not for the racer, again, who knows which monkey was in charge of that. And then if you accelerate the tyre wear when you're racing the AI, it'll actually blow their tyres, but then yours will be perfectly fine as well. So again, that points to me to say that tyre wear model is totally broken, and does not work within the game whatsoever. You might have experienced something where the tyre wear works, depending if you're on a controller or wheel, or there's very different scenarios depending on weather and track and whatever. But for me personally, and all the guys I race with, tyre wear just does not exist. It's like a mythical creature, like a dragon, like a unicorn, and they're probably more realistic than the tyre wear is in this game. Hood edit's not working as well. That's the adjustable hood you can do in game. Yeah, it's not really a big deal, unless my understanding anyway. It doesn't really bother me. Sound cutting out. So part of you probably experienced this when you have a rumble strip where you press the brake. If you've got a headset, then it just kills all sound. Again, who knows how that... I'm guessing they didn't test it with any headsets. Why they didn't test it, who wrote the checklist of things to test. I pretty much feel that the game checklist was, does the game turn on? Does it start? Awesome. Right, that's that game ready to go. We'll sign that off. That's perfectly working, perfectly fine. Other things that are wrong with it as well, party chat, game chat, a lobby full of people, or 12 people, not even a full lobby. You jump in, you can't hear some people. They're just, you can see the talking because the thing lights up, but there is no sound coming out whatsoever. You can literally hear 4 or 5 people out the lobby if you're lucky. Again, I can only put that down to the fact they only had one monkey testing it, and obviously being in a multiplayer lobby of one monkey, there is nobody for that monkey to talk to, so there is nobody to tell that monkey that they can't hear him. Again, simple things like that should be picked up in testing, should be able to picked up and fixed. And don't bullshit us with this. Yes, the game's 0.1% away from being perfect and ready to launch, when we all know it's not even 90% complete with the bugs, and they're not little bugs, they're game breaking bugs that are ruining the enjoyment of the game for a lot of people, not just myself. Other things as well, so in-game audio chat not working. I've gone over that, party chat cutting out. You can only have maximum of 8 party. That's not down to the game developers, that's Microsoft, but again, you lose that social aspect of it when you can't communicate with people in your game. And nobody wants to play a game where you're just sitting there on your own and not talking to anybody. It's soul destroying to think that the level of, I'm going to say stupidity, because that's the only thing I can put it down to. The small bugs that are in this game that were never picked up or haven't been picked up, and they rely on gamers like us who actually pay money for a finished product. And I know many games nowadays aren't finished and they all have bugs. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't go for just like the Magic Studio, it goes for all game developers. Don't release a game going, oh well, we've got bugs, so we'll release patches, but we just want to get it out there and get people to spend their hard-earned money on it, and then we'll sit back, we'll spend that money, we'll reap that money, and we'll do some bugs here, there, and everywhere. And I know there are fixes coming out for the controller issues, but the problems with this game go a lot deeper than just the controller issues. It could, as I said, it could be a great game. But it's far from that now. And my initial review, I can only apologise for that, because I gave this game 92 out of 100. At the moment, I wouldn't even give this game 75 out of 100. That's how much the bugs are causing issues, not just for me, but for other people I rated as well. So if you haven't got this game and you're debating whether or not to spend your hard-earned money on it, please hold out until they've got the bugs in, the bug fixes in, and see what difference it actually makes. Because I hate for you to spend your money on a game that is ruined. I'll say it ruined to the point that it is, because there will be a lot of disappointment in there for you. It's just beyond compare, and things such as in the pitch strategy, who knows how that works. I know the basics behind it. You can set what tyres you want to put on, how much fuel you want to put in there, and when you go into edit your pitch strategy, you have lots of options. You've got soft tyres, medium tyres, hard compound, intermediate compound, wets, super wets or extreme wets. But when you set it in the tune option, you have two options: slicks, dry. Sorry, three options: slicks, dry, or automatic. When you come into the pitching game, that's when you get the vast array of options. Now, I've tested soft, medium, and hard compounds. I have noticed no difference in tyre wear, no difference in speed, no difference in anything. And likewise with the wet tyres, if you have wet tyres on or extreme wets, again, it doesn't seem to make any difference in the rain to me at all. So it leads me to believe that if you either pick soft, medium, or hard compound, you essentially get a slick. That's it, one slick covering all those three. And the same with the wet tyres as well. If you pick extreme wets, you just get a wet tyre which covers wet conditions. Intermediate, who knows where that falls into. I have no idea. It'll probably just give you a wet, to be honest, and say, yeah, just deal with it. But yeah, it's the disappointment that is in this game at the moment for me is just beyond compare. I've done a lot of practice sessions setting up series for my forum, and the difficulties that have come around because of this, people getting booted out of lobbies, and then having to rejoin. And I know people will say, oh, maybe your connection's not as good, but I don't have that issue in any other multiplayer game that I play with these people. They don't get kicked out of games, they don't have to keep rejoining all the time. It's only this game, which would lead me to believe that it is this game that is the issue. Looks like we're going to be quite lucky with this replay, because it looks like it's going all the way through. So that's we'll put a little tick. We'll tick the monkey's box for that, and say well done. We've got one replay out of the 30 that I've tried that actually works. So I'm going to stop this video now before I actually blow a fuse or get any more pissed off or disappointed with this game. But if you're thinking about buying this and you haven't yet, hold out, don't spend your money on this game yet. If you do, expect to be disappointed to a certain degree. And I'll just cross my fingers that the bug patch that comes out, which I don't think it will address all of these issues. I think this will need a lot of bug patches to fix. It's going to take more than the one. Fingers crossed I'm wrong. I really hope I am wrong and the next patch comes out and it fixes absolutely everything for everybody, but I doubt that very much. So that's my rant video over. Project Cars, the honeymoon is officially over. I'll see you all soon.